Okay, hello, welcome back to Rimworld. My name's Pinelark Nerd. So, I recorded this video and missed all of my mic audio, so I'm adding this in post. And we're going at 2 times speed because I don't want to watch a whole 40 minutes with no audio and have to commentate every little bit. So I'm going to talk through what we're doing. So I was adding in the harvest hay command in Avonbridge. Over here in midpoint, I think we're looking at talking about whether we can add a smaller pen for Helene within the bigger pen, just in case we block up a gate and Helene has to be moved to the transport point. I'm just mentioning that between episodes I queued up this cooler and wall so that we can have a cooler for that additional area of the base. And I've just unforbid that door down the bottom there as well, so that can be built. Back in Avonbridge, looks like everything is been harvested. So Scipio did some harvesting between episodes. It was just some cycled leaves, some smoke leaves, and some chocolate. Quite a lot of chocolate. There's 600 chocolates. So I'm considering here whether we move that chocolate into separate shelves like we did with the packaged meals, packaged survival meals. What I am doing here is getting some more shelves for more packaged survival meals because I want to double the number of survival meals that we've got to 400, so that we're ready for the end game when we face the hordes when we've got the landed ship. So it takes 15 days for the landed ship to boot up basically before you can take off. So I want to have the meals and not have to worry about that. Over here in midpoint, I will go back to that in a minute, I guess. I'm turning off the chocolate in these stockpiles and I'm moving the chocolate temporarily out of the freezer because it doesn't need to be in a cold zone. Moving that into the general stockpile for now. But over in midpoint we do have this raid. We've got 4 people from West Fenler coming in. I thought they were preparing for a while, but they're not. They're attacking immediately. So I'm sort of considering whether to get everyone ready, but I'm not yet. I'm just putting everyone on colony 2 temporarily, and just expanding that zone. That's Lech's zone where he can travel around the base. So everyone's on that one temporarily. Ooh, okay, so let's see how this raid goes. I think they're coming in, and I'm about to move everyone in place. They are thinking about it for a while, even though they're attacking immediately. So I'm putting everyone outside here, and let's see how it plays out. I'm spotting these trees and putting a chop order on those ready for the next raid that comes in. Basically, I think I do some more of that later on in the episode as well. Masha has a heavy weapon and the others have got revolvers and an auto pistol. Welsh has low shooting skill, the others have high, so I'm less worried about Welsh here. That's where I put down a save. I didn't want to play, this is my only save here, so I didn't want to replay all of this. That's why I'm doing the post episode commentary instead. Move everyone up a little bit just so that we can keep Helene out of the fight. Thankfully Marsha goes north, so we do start to take people out. I'm just specifying specific people, but Marsha's not a threat there, so I'm leaving her out and just putting these guys on everyone else basically. We take one out, take 2 out, and Anarchist takes a good number of shots here but then goes down, and Marsha flees. We've got enough graves, so I just unforbid everyone and leave Marsha to it. She's unwavering loyalty, so we wouldn't have been able to recruit her. We would have released her if we'd have been able to capture her or someone else, just to try and get that hostility down from West Fenler. But everyone's on allow anywhere and they can go and pick those things up, and then at some point I put Lech back on colony 1. Kamiko is very unhappy, understandably. At this point I think we're going to go in and put some more shelves in the freezer. So these are for raw food, and it just takes me a second to work out how I want to do this. So go in and edit these. And I get those linked and set up with a recipe that's the same as what's on the floor, just preferred rather than normal, and change the floor to normal. Back in Avonbridge, I realised the shelves I set up for more packaged meals didn't have the right assignment, so I just sort that out so that they'll be packaged meals only and get everyone to urgently haul everything else back to the main stockpile. Down here, I decide that I do want the chocolate separately, so I just add a couple of shelves. This is me doing the maths to work out how many shelves I need. I just need one big shelf and a small shelf, but I go for 2 big shelves just to cover everything. And put that in our main corridor. And I do remember to link them and set that up as well. We have a transport pod crash. This is Turtle God over in Midpoint. They're bleeding in, going to die in 9 hours. Our Lech is really slow, so I don't want to send him. Hammer's the second doctor over here and happens to be nearby anyway, so send him in to do some tending without any medicine. I need to get him some herbal meds, but yeah, this was sort of emergency situation, so just stopping that bleeding. I did misunderstand that Turtle God was Kamiko's son because of that relationship pop up on the right there at the same time as the transport pod crash. He's not related to Kamiko, but nevertheless we do our best to save him. I realised that later on. So I'm just getting Schmidt to flick these switches and Lech to build a bed. I think I switched that out to Sam building the bed in a little bit because Lech is failing the bed. And this is where I realised that the melee people don't have the right assignment of clothes. They're not set on the winter schedule yet, so I switched those over here. Some more visitors coming in, but not really worried about that. So getting Hammer to carry Turtle God, and then I'm putting down a temporary sleeping spot because I realised the bed's not there yet, and then I switched that over to rescuing Turtle God instead. Yeah, let's get Sam building that bed. And as soon as it's built, we switch Turtle God over to the bed. And Hammer's just going to do a tend with some herbal meds for the last bruise there for Turtle God. Just going to get some more blocks being hauled in, just so that we can get some more blocks of sandstone being crafted. These are the visitors, so I send Hammer, who's our main trade person, up here just to trade away the weapons. The reinforced barrel is too expensive for us, so I just get rid of some weapons. And I see there's a t-shirt and pants, which I should have realised was Hammer's, but didn't realise that, so they're going. And in exchange, we can't get the reinforced barrel, so we take some components, and Hammer's hauling those back in. Back in Avonbridge, we're just double checking the everything's set up post the raid in the last episode, and I'm just checking that all of the grow zones are turned off as well, which they are. And there's a few bits of hay over here which we can harvest. Wander. Yeah, I think we'll come back to Wander. Yeah, I'm wondering whether we can hunt anything, but I don't want to hunt muffaloes because we had that issue early on in the season where we hunted muffaloes and they fought back. I now want to build some more shelves in the freezer for meals and herbal meds, so I'm just getting those set up and just messing around with these stockpiles. This one I accidentally delete, but yeah, eventually we get it all set up. So that's a herbal meds one on the right, and the other 3 are for meals. And I also add in a floor stockpile for animal carcasses, because at the moment they're being taken to the butcher at the bottom there, the butchering table, which is fine, but not ideal if we want to keep them cold before we can butcher them. So yeah, they're on the red area in the freezer, in the centre of the freezer there now instead. Yeah, so I did think that Kimiko was the mother of Turtle God. It's around about here that I realised that's not the case, and Porter, who was the daughter of Kimiko, must have been on the other map, must have been in Avonbridge, and has since left the map. So don't need to worry about that anymore. But this is me figuring that out in real time. Yeah. I realise the hammer no longer has trousers, so add in this tailoring bench and a chair, get that set up to be built, and then Turtle God joins. He's a night owl, and we assign him to planting, mining, art, hauling, and then animals and smithing. He needed a weapon. He's no good at shooting, so I've just given him a wooden log at the minute, just temporarily, so that he can do that. He can have that. And I've put him on the melee assignment for clothing as well. Yeah, we're getting the tailoring bench there set up, getting it built. I thought about adding a heater there, but we can actually build a vent directly into Lech's room from Turtle God's room. So that sorts out the issue of some of these walls not having the appropriate flooring for us to add in a vent. They've basically got muddy ground underneath them, but we do set out some floor building there, and some steel to be mined as well, and some wood to be hauled. We've harvested quite a bit of wood up here, and it's not being hauled in, so we really need it in the base so that people aren't bringing it bit by bit. Over in Avonbridge, I just want to check that our chocolate got hauled, and it did. Yeah, that's all 650-ish of the chocolate in these shelves. At some point I expanded our wargs allow area so that they can get insect meat. I was just double checking that they had enough food, and they still do, and they are well fed, which is good. We're running a bit low on hay, but we don't want it to be in the base. We want it to be in that stockpile down the bottom there because it's frozen. The hay that's in the base is slowly rotting away. I'm just correcting the meds assignments for Dolphin and Turtle God, and just double checking that everyone is on melee, ranged, or nudist clothing assignment. And I'm going to give Wanda a gladius and a shield belt here because they no longer have a gun. At some point they were down because of food poisoning, so I've just assigned them to be a melee person, basically. And I realise there's some bio-coded weapons here which we can't sell and we can't use. So I've just removed them from that assignment and just moving them over to the workshop over here so that we can smelt them and just do the stockpile assignments for that. Yeah, that's all 3 of those moved across. And I'm just going to put it on 3 weapons to be smelted for now, so that we don't accidentally smelt any more in the future. And we need to toggle the power there as well. There you go. Back in midpoint, I can't give Turtle God an end table because of where that that moisture pump is, so I'm going to give him a dresser and obviously a pot plant for now. Do deconstruct these 3 lamps and add a light in the butchering and stone cutting room. And we've got our tailoring table, so let's get a pair of pants made for Hammer, just so that he's wearing clothes. He's unhappy about it at the minute. The best material is guinea pig fur. There's also some, I think it was light leather or plain leather, but we'll put Lech on that, and Lech picks the guinea pig fur. And as soon as those are built, we'll get Hammer to put those on, so no one else puts them on. They are poor, so no one will put them on automatically, but yeah, better to get the assignment in so that he's no longer unhappy about it. And with this inspired surgery for Kit, I just wanted to check that no one had any organs or limbs or eyes or anything we can replace. Frenchie has a busted up eye, but it's not like in a stage where we want to replace it yet. So we're not going to make use of the inspired surgery, but that might come in handy later on. Yeah, I've given Hammer's got these trousers, and then I also think about Turtle God's clothing here. We don't have parkas and toques, but we can give Turtle God a duster, the best like cold clothes duster. So there's a cloth duster that we end up giving him. Yeah, that one there. And then there's a cowboy hat made of fur as well, I think, or wool. Yes, it's alpaca wool cowboy hat, so we assigned Turtle God to wear the alpaca wool cowboy hat. So he's okay for down to -7, I think, which is a little better than what he was before. And I also set up the clothing work orders here in midpoint for pants, t-shirt and toques. We definitely don't have the materials for this. But yeah, I didn't want to leave this without any clothing. So it's not counting equipped. It's just like having 2 spare pairs of everything, of good enough quality. We can once we move people across, we'll be better off, and we've got spare clothes and everything for everyone. So this was just sort of a temporary thing, and it's only Lech really working on this. I think Turtle God is second. I realise why I'm calling Turtle God Turtle Leg, because at the top right there it says Turtle Leg, but it's the start of Turtle God. But yeah, that confused me for a while. But yeah, coming to the end of the episode here. It's a short one when it's sped up 2 times. Just checking that everything's looking okay. Food all set up in the freezers, cooking all set up nicely. But with that, I think that brings us to the end of the episode. It's about now that I realised that I wasn't recording audio, but yeah, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Pinelark Nerd, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.